Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode, Dishonored, in this, the year of our Lord. We didn't get too awful far. Right. It's raining outside. Something is not right. I'm dreaming.
Hello, Corvo. Your life has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that we can call magic. And now, these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
Looks like a vampire. So we can do a fast and stealthy forward dash. Use it to move upward, but the distance is reduced. So it's like a blink ability. Okay. You cannot save her. You cannot save her. You cannot save her. R.I.P. Corvo, I am very sad. They say that you're dead like mother, but I'm going to put this note in a bottle, throw it into the river, because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it, so please come for me if you can. Whale oil. You monsters. Spiritual remedy. Lord. Oil on stilts.
Days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find these runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Indubitably. Having the heart in your left hand helps you locate bone charms or runes. Runes, whatever you want to call it. Even through walls, heart beats and lights up when you're facing a bone charm or rune. And it beats faster as you get closer. The heart will whisper secrets if you press right-click while targeting a person or location.
This place is the end of all things, and the beginning. All of time is meaningless here. Neither seconds nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky.
Once you've collected some runes, open the journal and go to the power section to exchange them for powers. It can be collected and used to acquire supernatural powers. Dark vision. That might be handy. Blink. Control of animal targets. That's crazy. Slow time. Rat swarm. Wind blast. That's crazy. So I get to spin to these points. Health regen improved. It's wanting me to do this one, or can I do whatever? Guess it wants me to do this.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. And now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
Yes, my liege. Hound Pit's Pub, hidden allies. Hidden in an old bar on the river, your new allies have plans to share with you. Meet with the Loyalist Inner Circle to learn what they've got in mind. Three at once. Excerpt from an Overseer's covert-filled report. For over a year now, I've lived away from the Abbey, without the company of my Overseer brethren, or the guidance of the blind sisters of the oracular order. Days have passed with me sleeping in the dens of cut purses, murderers, and worse, and the nights have seen me prowling through the worst alleys and wretched corners of Dunwall. I've taken my meals with killers. At times I have ventured beyond the city walls, meeting in forgotten graveyards and the outlying ruins frequented by those of ill means. My beard has grown long, and I wear the weathered clothing and bits of boiled leather favored by the Bottle Street and Hatter gangs, and by those rough men and women who make their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands have run red with blood, it's true, but I have selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who were not fit to live, executing them justly, using their deaths as a means of building my reputation. So far, this trick has allowed me to make my name among murderous colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin named Dowd in order to get close to him. Of all the practitioners of black magic we have tracked, none concern the Abbey as much as Dowd. It is said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off of Pandician coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the Isles. According to the legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead, and the witch controlled the crew, with Dowd still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories tell of a gang killer without mercy, moving among the shopkeepers and city watch of officers of Dunwall like a reaper through wheat. Then a period of silence followed. Years we now believe he spent traveling the Isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning and in hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers in the forbidden arts. Dowd is even purported to have spent a winter in the Academy of Natural Philosophy itself, and for a time, before a schism developed, he counted the Brigmore witches among his allies. All the while he honed his craft, and it's during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. Now reports emerged of a dusky-skinned assassin, paid by the elite to eliminate their rivals in Dunwall and the other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him and lived numbered in the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke from a nearby rooftop. He gestured, and a noble woman stumbled from her balcony, falling to her doom in the cobblestone below. Most recently, as this new threat of plague has risen in Dunwall, Dowd has been seen leading a gang of men in dark leather, dressed as factory whalers in their vapor masks. They seem loyal beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some of his magic is dedicated to lulling their minds, enslaving them. Only a month ago, one young girl claims to have come upon a strange scene, carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother. She was taking a shortcut through the tailor's district. In a narrow street, she passed beneath a window and heard unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, the girl saw into an abandoned apartment used by miscreants for gambling and trading haberweed. An occult shrine had been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given by her local overseer. A man she described as resembling Dowd was kneeling before the shrine, muttering to an unseen spirit as if in argument. He took a carving made of pale bone from the altar before him, and the lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. Quiet as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. There can be no doubt. Dowd is an agent of the outsider and must die. There is no limit to the evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath and the great purpose of my life. Until Dowd is dead and his corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved, winding my way toward him. I will not drop my guise or don my overseer's mask again until Dowd breathes no more. Capacity in water, swim speed, health regen, miss more often. Cool. Field survey notes, the Royal Spy. Excerpt from the personal memoirs of Hiram Burroughs, dated several years earlier. This is the 4th day, month of high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the Distillery District, but more slowly than I'd expect. The ruffians operating there have been cunning. I'll grant them that, but it's only a matter of time. I'll see their leaders flogged in public and sent beneath the royal executioner's blade, if I had my way. That mute bastard would be working night and day, removing the heads that need removing. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seems that it is beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors move among us, but I know they do. They must. No, Jessamine would rather spend her time with the royal protector. At least she's likely to stop any immediate threat to her safety, but a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us. How will Corvo's sword stop a poisoned wine glass or an explosive delivered by courier? It will not. There are many threats around us, threats requiring meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emily is undisciplined, I'm afraid. Here within Dunwall Tower, she receives instruction from the finest tutors known in the Isles, yet her mother spoils her. She spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time to drawing or asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. The girl might rule the Empire someday. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gate leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. To think that back in his day, Emperor Kaldwin left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come and go as they pleased. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear of it. The waterlock is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way into the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Someday the wrong person is going to slip in, and we'll suffer for it. Mark my words. No amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting heads of state. The Empress also disapproves of my plans for the Sokolov devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he's vain, and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any fashion. This wall of light he's been tinkering with has promise. In any case, at least, I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the watch. Why do I worry so when no one else seems to care? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the rough things clamber over the walls and feel themselves on our flesh? This is what I see in the same dream several times each month. If only I had more say in things, more authority, I could protect us all. Perhaps I've been working too hard. Dinner and an evening of conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. Ron Burroughs, Will Spymaster. Early life and criminal record, Slackjaw. Excerpt from a series of letters sent by a member of the Bottle Street Gang. You want the chain wag on Slackjaw? He was what he was like when he was young, before he got his name. Oh, he's got a cool head now, but it weren't always like that in the days before he was a boss of the Bottle Street Gang. Time was, young Slackjaw wasn't such a reasonable man. Like most of us, he grew up in the streets, running with a pack of ragamuffins and avoiding the law, pinching whatever he needed. Dark-haired and dark-eyed, smoking a pipe by the age of 10. For them born into the brothels or coming from the orphanages, it was either the gangs or working with the mudlarks. One wants that. Some got pressed into the Navy or put down in the mines run by the Pendleton or Boyle families. As hard as it was on the streets, as hungry as we all got, at least we was free. By the time we weren't little ones anymore, Slackjaw was one to watch, usually calling the shots. We took down a farmer's cart or sidewalk street vendor. He'd come up with the plan, give everyone some part to play and decide on the split. Most of us just went along, because we learned fast that we made out better like that. More food, more coin, plus none of us wanted to deal with Slackjaw when he was enraged. We worked on a couple of big jobs with Black Sally across town, and that was enough to get the attention of the other bosses. He wasn't just a street kid anymore. Now he was an up-and-comer, which meant trouble. Another guy who fancied himself as such was Mike the Fish, who was working his way up running the protection racket among the factory. One fine evening, we're all talking in a body show in the taking in a body show in the theater house. Mike the Fish and his lot are there in the cheap seats too, just down the aisle from us. Mike gets a wild idea. He wasn't big on planning. Throws a heavy ceramic spittoon at Slackjaw, hits him square in the face, and breaks his jaw. We look to see if there's going to be a blood brawl, but Slackjaw just points at the door and we all leave, with Mike laughing at our backs. Waking up the next day without telling us why, Slackjaw motions for us all to follow. He still can't say a word, so we just come along. We stop at the docks and Slackjaw actually pays coin for it. A heavy chain covered in hooks. It's for fishing in the deep. Something you'd attach to a long line off the side of a ship. It's about 4 feet, made of thick links. And there are shark hooks coming off it at different angles. Slackjaw's got that thing wrapped around his left arm, dangling at his side. Not sure how he knew where Mike the Fish was staying, but when we reached his girl's house, Slackjaw throws a bottle through the window just like that. It's almost noon. There's a bunch of screaming inside, and Mike pokes his head out, looking wide-eyed and baffled. When he sees Slackjaw out in the street, a look comes over his face that still gives me the willies. Pure murder. Mike comes out the side door bellowing like a blood ox, holding a cleaver, heading straight for Slackjaw. When they come together in the street, Slackjaw spins and the shark hook bites deep into Mike's arm and shoulder. He screams, but Slackjaw still holds onto the chain. He's standing there with his jaw broken, clenched tight, with the chain wrapped around his left arm, hook sunk into Mike the Fish, just knifing him as fast as he can. Mike couldn't fight very well, hooks like that, using his left hand, but he was a big guy, and it took a lot of stabbing before he went to his knees. Everyone was cheering at first, but then all went quiet. We just kept going and going until finally it was just Mike the Fish blubbering, crying like a baby, and the sounds of Slackjaw's knife. When it was over, and here's the brilliant part, Slackjaw took a note, stuck it to Mike's face with a nail. It just said, "If you want a job, come to Bottle Street." Slackjaw didn't talk right for a couple months, but word spread fast. By the end of the year, once we had a sizable gang going, he sent out letters to the other bosses, telling them that he was running a brand new crew over Bottle Street. Most of them laughed or beat up the guys who delivered the letters. Green-eyed Trish even came back missing a thumb. But apparently, Slackjaw was expecting that kind of reaction and had a backup plan. A week later, 4 of the bosses were dead. Seemed like a series of unfortunate events, but everyone knew better. One shot dead by the watch while standing in the middle of a meat market. Another slipping and falling into the water out cold. One of the older bosses found in bed with his belly opened wide and a Tivian pear stuffed into his mouth. Still not sure what that meant. And Sheila Barnsworth was found bubbling in a cauldron of hot wax. Slackjaw sent out another set of letters, offers to the underbosses, telling them they'd be treated fair as peers. He even sent Green-eyed Trish with one of the letters. All of the underbosses accepted. After spilling the guts of his main competition, Slackjaw went for stabilizing his business, real neat-like, calling in favors, smoothing things over, giving everyone a little bit of coin or drink as a bonus, showing what he could be like as a boss. So everything got quiet, which always makes the boys of the city watch nervous, of course. Word went out among the royal spy master snitches, the responsible citizens group they called themselves, telling everyone working in a shop or sweeping off the front steps of their homes to keep a watchful eye for Slackjaw and his men, trying to suss out what they were up to and what had just happened. But Slackjaw ain't stupid. He greased a few palms among the shopkeepers and the watch too, telling them that he was in town to stay and that things would be run properly from now on without so much blood. He was finally a real boss, ready to settle into the business of moving whiskey, running the hound fights, and offering up ladies and gentlemen of the night, if you take my meaning. Then the plague came. At first, it seemed like a good thing. A few people got sick, and everyone wanted to buy those potions from Sokolov or Piero. Health elixir or spiritual remedy, they call them. Slackjaw told me he saw an opportunity. We were already on old whiskey factory with a still, where we could water the stuff down and sell it discounted. Doing the same with Sokolov's elixir was a smart plan. Pretty soon everybody in the slums was sick and business was good. But after a while there were so many people down with the plague that everyone got scared. Everybody started acting real nasty and everything fell apart. When people can't work, they don't have the coin for elixir, watered down or pure. When the Empress died, it seemed like Dunwall would slide into the void. Spymaster Burroughs took over, and the watch started using all that new Sokolov technology, watchtowers, tall boys, and the marked pylons. They put up a wall of light across Clavering Boulevard and cracked down hard. But Slackjaw surprised us again. Instead of leaving town on a boat bound for Marley or one of the other isles, he stayed, kept it all together. We got as much elixir to fight off the plague as the city watch, with their taxes and rations. It's kept us alive so far. Crowley, Bottle Street Gang. Ton of stuff in here. The Journal of Granny Rags, excerpt from the ramblings of a street denizen. Of course I'll tell you, dearie. I won't keep any secrets from you in the end. All the dreary days of my life are like the windows of a house. From the kitchen I can see out into the garden where the leaves and stalks are brown and bug-eaten. You can see a little lump of dirt where something was wrapped in a blanket and laid to rest along the rows of twisting vines. The front room looks out into the street, where the neighbors are all setting fire to their homes, barricading themselves inside, warm and snug, dearie. Don't forget about the bedroom either. It sees into a dreary alley, where hooligans are playing a game with an old man. The first two are hitting him with sticks, and the girl with them is kicking his at his dry old ribs. Oh, to have those bones, to boil them in a pot. No one lives in my house anymore, dearie. You'd want to meet. When I lived there with my husband, we were fine people. Very moray. Everyone would say your house is as grand as Boyle Manor, better even. Your dinners are lavish and your parties are the best. When that young Sokolov came to paint my portrait, I was nearly still in my prime. Radiant, he said, and he was just barely a man, so young, painting all the best people across the land. Everyone wanted a portrait by his hand, all my friends. I was the only one, dearie, wet with his paint, glistening on the canvas for a pretty coin. But it wasn't all parties and paintings. My husband and I weren't always at home. No, we traveled together, he and I, to the far ends of the Isles, beyond even, all the way to the red cliffs of Pandyssia, to dig in the rock and crawl through the caves, holding up candles and squinting at the walls. Many precious things we came upon, but none so precious as the boy with the black eyes, dearie. All those marks and bones, carved so deep and polished so bright. I brought the old bones home, hid them from my dear husband. Then I learned to boil them and carve them myself. They made such good presents, dearie. The little mute boy took them home. He loved them so. All the time he came back with new bones for me, holding them up so I could see it in his eyes, even though his tongue was still. Granny, his eyes would say to me, carve these bones for me. Make me another present. And he went so far, all the way to Dunwall Tower, to the royal headsman himself now, my little mute boy and his shiny, shiny sword. Better bones were what I needed, you see. Better bones to carve and polish, scrape and gleam. My dear old husband was always tired. Made him soup, and he was sick. Better bones was all. For my little mute boy, carved in the name of one with the black eyes, and after my husband was gone, giving away his birthday gifts. I didn't want to live there anymore. So now I'm old, and I don't have many to give my presents to. It's sifting through the garbage for granny rags and feeding the little birdies that gather at my feet. No one wants to have tea, dearie. Especially those rude louts on Bottle Street. Slackjaw and his boys always meddling with an old woman just trying to make her way. In the end, we'll be together with him, you and me in the dreary night, with stars above and below, and always the one with the black eyes, dearie.
Attention Dunwall City. Do not attempt to house or care for a friend or family member who shows signs of blood on their face and chest area. The only way to help them is to bring them to the City Watch. They will be taken to the flooded district for treatment.
Somewhere in the basements below, hound kills hound, and money changes hands.
Ow. Powers you obtain from the ruins can be used creatively to defeat enemies or move through environments. Blink from roof to roof, possess rats and fish, or slow time before rushing a group of enemies. Since it's only allowing me to do these, I guess you have to get them all and then choose where you level up.
Such laughter, and they're singing old songs, linking arms. But that was from a happier time.
If you like, but he won't use it. He is regular beds anymore.
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make the world right. Our purpose is clear.
We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Kaldwin on the throne. To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by your hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his overseers, an army of religious zealots. But if anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she's alive. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on you. Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer by the name of Martin. He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught working for our cause. It'd be good to have him back here at the How Pits.
And 4.
Oh, Corvo? If you've a moment. Corvo. Hello. I'm Callista. I work here for Admiral HAVELOCK. I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer. That wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me, but my uncle, Jeff Kernow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison, and I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin.
I'll do what I can. So Campbell is close allies to the Lord Regent. Corrupt, and he knows where Emily is. So we gotta get his journal.
Just wondering, sir, if you thought about perhaps seeing Piero before venturing into the Overseer's nest. I'd recommend going with the best gear you can get together.
Already done that, brother.
Ready to go? Just give the signal.
Distillery District. High Overseer Campbell leads the city's militant religious faction as a close ally to the Lord Regent. Campbell is completely corrupt and holds the secret to Emily's location. Infiltrate the office of the High Overseer, steal Campbell's journal, and eliminate him. An ally to the loyalist Martin is being held there. Free him and allow him to escape.
It'll be a rough trip. Used to be to go straight up Clavering Boulevard, but now it's not so easy. Half the city's dead of the plague. The other half's fighting over what's left. City Watch still holds the bigger streets, and they've set up those wall of light checkpoints. A man walks through one of those, and he ends up burned to a crisp. Everything not controlled by the City Watch is gang territory. Then there are the real odd birds living on the fringes, like that Granny Rags. They say she's nuts. I don't know which is worse. Just take your pick. If you decide to go up Clavering, don't let the guards spot you.
Let's go talk to Granny Rags, shall we?
think that last one was moving.
What?
Yeah, the little one.
Not possible. I inspected them myself. Keep working.
Well, he ain't moving no more. One, two, three, heave!
Get up the backside. Potentially.
One, two, three, heave!
Too high. Huh.
Good. Keep them coming.
Excerpt from a longer work translated from Old Serkinen. She was shy in the month of hearts, hiding from my scented letters, a sun-dappled cure for my loneliness. She was smiling in the month of rain, eating figs straight from the tree, a dream of sailing around the isles. She was wed in the month of clans, to her sailor cousin from Calero, a shrill bird drilling at my chest. She was dying in the month of songs, struck by a disease from the east, a terrible kiss on her distant lips. I was in his feelings. Did away with himself. That's sad. Can I go prone? No. Perhaps. Perchance. Whoa.
Half the block dead from the plague.
Better them than us. At least. Watch it. You're gonna bleed.
It was a little sketchy.
I can feel a great age ending.
There was one up here. I don't have much of this hour left from all the hopping around.
Dunwall citizens, this is a special announcement from our Honorable Lord Regent.
This is the Lord Regent speaking. It is with regret that I announce that my term as Lord Regent has been extended through the month of
What is
harvest
this?
and potentially beyond. In addition, in this continuing crisis, the overseers of the Abbey of the Everyman remain in service to the state and are empowered
Please,
to
I'm a bit
enforce
shaken right now.
order whenever
I saw some
and
terrible things today.
wherever necessary. We owe our thanks to High Overseer Campbell for the generous loan
I just
of their
robbed you on
services.
accident. That's my fault.
Attention, Watchmen. This district is now considered a highly infected area. Residents are to be escorted to adjacent neighborhoods or delivered for immediate deportation to the flooded district. Remain in position until qualified personnel have completed the removal of infected bodies.
Hello, Granny.
Granny, 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 come out.
I have to.
I think the little birdies are sad today. I told you, dear. Is that you, my dear husband? My eyes aren't what they used to be. Have you seen my little birdies? Oh, the dear things must be starving without their granny. Here, birdies. Here. Oh, my. I think I have gentlemen callers again, but not the way I used to, not the nice ones. I hear them, and they're not very polite ones either. Granny Rags, let us in. Ah, well, they'll go away again if they know what's good for them. But what a bother. Here's the key to the front door, love. You'll see to those ruffians, won't you?
My mother's certainly
Oh, no,
will.
that's not a nice thing.
Let us in, Granny.
I bet she can't even hear us.
She's blind, not deaf.
We're here to do your
I
washing.
told you the knives go on.
She's not stupid either.
Come on! Dump you in the river after I cut you off!
R and T, that's what it was.
If I was a birdie, I'd want to eat that. Yes. Oh, my dear. I knew you'd help me with those ill-mannered boys. My brave man. Listen, Granny has a birthday present for you. I got it from the outsider, and now I'm giving it to you. Go on. It's upstairs. On the vanity. I think you'll cut a nice figure with it. Remember how we used to dance? Our parties were even grander than those at the Boyle Manor. Everyone wanted to come. Oh no, that's not a nice thing. Just garbage. Garbage, all of it. I hope you like the little gift I got for you. It's the least I could do for turning those louts away. I can't bear these Bottle Street children. Ruffians, every last one of them. Rotten apples. And that slackjaw is the worst lot. You know what I just thought of? You could do something else for me. Another little favor. And I'd give you another present. Another lovely rune carved from the bones of a dead whale. Do you remember my doctor, dear? Dr. Galvani? Now there was a clever man. He's got all sorts of nasty rat guts and disease in his laboratory. Wouldn't it be a shame if some of that mess found its way into the Bottle Street Gang's elixir still? That'd teach him. See to it, dear. I'll find you another present just like the first. Galvani lives on Clavering Boulevard, or at least he used to. Those were the days. Now run off. My baby birdies are hungry. So precious. But they're shy. You'll have to go or they won't come. Granny, 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 come out with me.
Oh, Granny is,
Granny, Granny, Granny.
seems to have come unhinged a bit.
Dead. Dear birdies, sweet birdies.
Be careful, Corvo. They call her Granny Rags. You wouldn't recognize her real name, or even the name of her family, but an emperor begged for her hand once, and rich young men fought each other for her favor. I watched her consider them all, measure their worth, and find them wanting. Then, she made a different choice. You're on your way to face the High Overseer, the leader of a great cult dedicated to loathing me. What will you do, I wonder?
What will I do? Okay, so now it's given me options. I can slow time for a short duration. High mana cost. Fill up adrenaline. Trigger brutal melee fatalities. Jump height increased. Falling damage reduced. Unaware enemies who don't see you turn to ash as they die. What is level 2 of this? I feel like, oh, I don't have enough to do that. It costs 3. See in the dark, see beings through walls, including their fields of vision. I don't know what to do here. I feel like this will be most useful.
Where did my birdies go? Maybe they should pay a visit to those young men. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Oh! There you are. Were you worried about your granny? Hungry chicks, aren't you? Don't eat too much. There will be all kinds of treatment.
They are burning ways. The doom of Pandacia has come to the city.
These guys are killing me. That's not cool, man. Get me out of here. I hung around too long. Bone charm kinda close.
The river rushed in when the barrier broke. The whole district went dark.
Attention, Dunwall citizens. Report all deceased family members to the local dead counter. Unreported deaths are a punishable offense.
What's my other ability? Could get past a number of ways, disable it, climb up the crates to the right, use the roof, find another path, following the streets to the right, possess a rat, use the small tunnel to the left. Well, y'all just got exploded. I would still kind of like to get up on this roof, though. This stuff could be useful if I can carry it. Can I still climb? No? Guess I can't beat the system on this. Can't blink with it. Well.
I'll flush you out.
You ain't doing nothing, bro.
That's not what we heard. Just a cold. Are you sure? Because you know we have to check you over. And there's an inspection fee. You don't want to talk to us like that. Fact is, Follow Street is here to take its cut. So reach into your pockets and let's get this done.
I feel like I've already read this. Yeah, I've read this.
Yeah, and the inspection fee. We can't help it. Just the way we do things.
Mother's journal. It's the 4th day of the month of rain. Morris is sick and so are the children. I avoided it thus far, which is good fortune, since it's fallen on me to care for them. City watch comes and goes, knocking on doors and asking for signs of plague. Even our neighbors cannot be trusted. Earlier it was difficult to keep the children quiet, now they sleep most of the time. The flies have set in. Try to keep them away, but I can barely get close. They sting so. Most of the time, Morris won't answer me when I try to talk to him from across the room. Morris is gone. I don't know what I'll do. For now, all my hope is reserved for the children. Leaving the flat for a while near dawn, I found some plague bags from a guard booth while no one was around. It took a while, but I got Morris into one of the bags. At least his face is covered. Young Robert has passed. The star of my sky is gone. Paige missing. Elise stopped breathing in the middle of the night. She was such a headstrong girl, I can hardly believe she was overcome. She was always near as I cut up hagfish, or vegetables, arguing with me about everything. It's the 4th day of the month of Wind. It has settled in that they are lost to me, all of them. I cannot bring myself to call the dead counter. I have the fever now. No guards come near anymore. Good Lord. What a way to go, man. Children's rhymes. They say that Jimmy Whitecomb Riley was a brawler, and his mates called Smiley ran around up and down town pulling off every kind of crimey bars. On Bottle Street he hung with the boys, throwing bricks and bottles and other toys. They'd start off a fight, then run and hide, breaking, laughing far and wide. Smiley liked to eat and drink all day and smashed and bashed the night away. Drunk and all alone, he drifted off asleeping, sitting on the bridge along Johnny Clavering. When he woke, something strange he found, stranger than a singing wolfhound. Become a blue-jawed hagfish, most slimy, and only remembered his name was Smiley. They say that Jimmy Whitecomb Riley was never seen again for all of the time. But he swam around up and down, drinking from the river, crying widely. Cursed. Very cursed. These are bad guys, right?
Anyone there? Somebody! I'm trapped. Hurt. Hey!
I owe you, brother. I want to ask about the mask. I wouldn't want my face seen either, pulling a stunt like that. You know what? I'll return the favor. Come by Griff's shop. That's my business. Well, it was, at one time, but now I'm reduced to scavenging things from here and there as the city dies. If you need anything, I wouldn't mind trading for a little money. Maybe someday the plague will blow over and everything will go back to normal. But until then, it's scavenging for me.
Gen 4.
Huh?
The heck, man? Vengeance. Getting damaged gives you some adrenaline. Excerpt from a book on sailing traditions and scrimshaw. Bone charms, a sailor's blessing, they say. Carving itself is a practice from long back, passed from father to son, old man Salt to greenhorn, still getting his sea legs beneath him. In the old times, men cut into the tusks of ice seals and into the arm, long fangs of bears that roamed the isles north of Tibia. Once the whale trade began, the practitioners went to engraving the bones of those great beasts, rendering charms that sing in the night, grant some small boon to a man's vigor or defense against pregnancy. Interesting. Got a ruin still to get to. Alright, gang. Well, since we're here, I suppose we'll pop a squat, take a breather, and I will see you guys again in a week. Thank you guys for joining me. Shouts out to all the patrons. If you'd like to join, it is $1 a month. Link is in the description. And as always, I appreciate y'all. Till next time. Yeah.